People think pain comes from what others do to you, but real pain, it comes when your own family starts believing your worth. Ended with your Agathet morning. She stood at the door with her sunglasses on, suitcase beside her, and said in that careless tone that cuts deeper than any insult, to do nothing anyway, just watch the kids. While I traveled right there between her words and my son's silence, something in me shifted. Beckos, I realized. If they saw me as nothing, then it was time to show them just how powerful nothing can become. Tell me in the comments, have you ever been taken for granted by someone you helped rise? Tap like if you believe. Silence can be the most powerful revenge. Subscribe for more stories where pain becomes purpose and respect lost always finds its way back. My son stood there quietly, pretending to check his phone, avoiding my eyes. He didn't defend me, didn't correct her, just let her words hang in the air like smoke. For a moment, I felt small, like every sacrifice ID made the sleepless nights the double shifts. The tears I hid when his father passed had vanished in one careless sentence, but then a strange calm came over me. I looked at her, all pride and perfume, and said nothing, because deep down I knew silence could build storms that words never could. Thee left for the airport that afternoon. The house grew quiet, almost too quiet, but instead of feeling empty, I felt awake too. Something I hadn't felt in years. Purpose. Ethy thought they left me with nothing, but what they really left me with was freedom. That night I brewed tea, sat by the window, and stared at the city lights flickering in the distance. Each one reminded me of a truth I had forgotten: you are never too old to start again. So the next morning I did something I hadn't done in years. I took out my old sewing machine, dusty, a little rusted, but still faithful. My late husband used to call me Anna. He always said, Anna, your hands can turn fabric into miracles. That morning his words became my compass. Decided to take every ounce of energy they called nothing and pour it into some thingy. Started stitching old fabrics, torn saris, discarded cloth, all reborn under my hands. It was therapy, it was rebellion, it was quiet revenge. She was flying first class. I was learning how to soar without wings, without noise, and without her permission. While she was posting pictures of Eiffel Towers and champagne, I was posting my first product, a hand-embroidered cushion cover. At first, no one noticed. Then one of my videos, just me sewing in silence, captioned, even old hands can create new beginnings, went viral. Lover night orders started flooding in 1 to 10, 50. My living room turned into a small workshop. The kids, the same ones I was just babysitting, started helping me. They called me boss, grandma, and giggled every time an order came. Eenie named my shop Anna's Attic in memory of the love and strength I once shared with their grandfather. And soon it wasn't just a business. It was a movement, a reminder that dignity goes on. T retires thought I was home, doing nothing. If only she knew the world had already started calling me something. A week later, she came home glowing from her vacation, holding designer bags. But the moment she stepped into the house, she froze. Boxes everywhere, stacks of packaging, the kids running around with ribbons and orderless sweats. All this, she asked. I looked up from my table, smiled, and said, oh, just a little something I started while doing nothing's. Your jaw tighten. Then my son walked in, holding my phone, eyes wide. Mom, what's on? As a tissy wiped my hands and said, it's what happens when you underestimate a woman who built her life from scratch. Scrolled through my page, thousands of followers, endless orders, and one caption pinned to the top: never mistake silence for weakness. Some storms whisper before they strike. Said silence at the table that day was finally answered. Them woman who left me with chores came home to chaos, but it wasn't mess, it was power taking shape. That night she came to my room, no arrogance this time, just a trembling voice. Mom, am sorry for what I said. He looked at her, and for the first time felt no anger, only clarity. I know you are, I said softly, but sometimes dear people like you are blessings in disguise. You reminded me that I wasn't done yet. She looked down, tears in her eyes, and for the first time in years, I didn't cry with her. Becca's ID already found my peace. My revenge didn't come with shouting, it came with silence and success. That night I slept better than I did Had in months because respect once lost doesn't need to be begged for it. Can be rebuilt brick by brick quietly until it towers over those who, buried itch gave me her disrespect tea, turned it into discipline, and that became my revenge. So to every woman watching this, if they ever tell you that you do, nothing didn't waste your energy trying to convince them. Let your work, your growth, your peace do the talking, Becca's the sweetest. Revenge is becoming everything they thought. You couldn't be tell me in the comments, have you ever? Turn Zumion's insult into your motivation tap. Like if you believe silence can be the sharpest revenge, subscribe for more stories where pain becomes purpose and dignity becomes the final word.